how to squat every day. This is a thing that comes up all the time, and I see all these people say things like, oh, you can't squat every day, and stupid shit like that. And I've been doing it for a really long time. I unfortunately had a break in 2017 because I had an adrenal crisis and ended up in the hospital for 4 months. Had it not been for that, I would be squatting every day for something like, I don't know, 11 years now or something. So instead, in 2017, I had to start over. And so, I've got 7 years of squatting every day. Okay. It can't be done. And yet this guy who really isn't anything impressive is somehow doing this. So either I'm a freak and I'm just better than everyone else, which I'm not, or this can be done. So how can you do it, though, is the question, right? And this, I think, is the issue, actually. I think a lot of you, no, I shouldn't say you. My audience is smarter than this. A lot of the people who criticize squat every day and say it can't be done, what's happening is they're coming in and they're maxing out every day. And then they say, oh, well, you can't hit your max every single day. And you know what? I agree. You can't hit your max every single day. You can't. It's just not going to happen. There are days where I do hit my max, and then there are days where I'm just like, I don't have it today. Like, it's just not going to happen. This is just the reality of things. So if someone's argument is you can't hit your max every single day, I fully agree. You can't hit your max every single day. If someone's argument is that somehow you can't do squats every day, well, that doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, look at Navy SEALs going through training, and they do push-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups every single day. Look at basketball players jumping every single day, as if jumping isn't, and think about it, like jumping is very hard on your joints, it's hard on your muscles, and yet basketball players are jumping every single day. Runners that run every day, 10 times your body weight goes through your leg or something like that, something ridiculous. Gymnasts train 7 days a week. I was listening to an interview with Chris Sommer, who was going to come up in this, by the way, and he was talking about how, they train twice a day, 7 days a week, and it's like, wow, that's amazing. And I can't remember what it was. He said something about like doing giants and it being like 14 times your body weight. Okay, you're not squatting 14 times your body weight. So I'm pretty sure you can handle squatting every day. All right, how are you going to do this? And that's where I'm going to come back to two things that are really quite, actually, I'm going to make it three. I'm going to add a third one. Pavel, power to the people, greasing the groove. It's a very simple concept. You're just going to go easy. So let's say you can do, 9 pull-ups. You're just going to do sets of 3. You don't go to failure. You do a whole bunch of sets of 3. Grease the groove. You do it multiple times a day. Dan John's Easy Strength, 2 sets of 5, and it's like 70 to 75% or something like that for 2 sets of 5. Okay, that's actually a pretty solid set. Think about that. And then the last thought is, Chris Sommer, if you're not familiar with him, Gymnastic Bodies, and he talks about this steady state cycle where you basically do the exact same workout for 12 weeks and then you change it. Because what happens is you adapt to it. Which actually brings me to a fourth of all things, Bondarchuk. So, Bondarchuk has you do the exact same workout over and over and over again until you adapt to it, and then you change it. Okay, then. All right, so how do you implement squatting every day? And the point is that you're not going to hit your max every day. So let's say you have a max of, let's just make it easy, it's 100 kilo max. Okay, 100 kilo max. What you're going to do on day 1 is you're just going to work up to 80 kilos for a single. It's a single at 80. You should be able to do 5 or more. I'm asking for 1 rep at 80. And it's pretty simple. You're going to come in and do the bar for, 10 reps. You're going to throw 40 kilos on the bar, do, 3 to 5 reps. Put 60 on the bar and do 2 or 3 reps. and then you're put 80 on the bar and do 1 rep. That's it. And you move on to whatever else it is you're doing. Or maybe you're done for the day because you don't have anything else that you're doing. Okay. Maybe that day you're planning on bench pressing, so you move on to the bench press. Or maybe that day you're planning on deadlifting, so you move on to the deadlift. Whatever it is, okay? But that's it for the squats. And then you're going to come in the next day and do that again. And maybe the next day, because you bench pressed the day before, now you're taking today off technically. So you're literally just going to come in and do the bar, 40, 60, 80 for a single. This is an introductory phase, by the way. And what you're going to do is you're going to do this for a few weeks. You're going to be sore because you're squatting frequently. It's a new stimulus. When that soreness dissipates and you are no longer sore, and this feels like way too easy, like I just come in and squat 80 for a single every time. Yeah, it should be too easy. In a few weeks, it'll feel too easy. Now what you're going to do is you're just going to come up and you're just going to work through until you hit something that just feels heavy. We're not going to go to failure. So I hope my nose doesn't start bleeding. That will ruin a video. Just a little. So anyways, you're going to come in and you're going to do the bar, 40, 60, 80, and then let's put 85 on. Ooh, 85 felt heavy, not slow. We're not grinding ever. And we're not doing a shit ton of pre-workout either. We're just calmly doing a single. Don't get amped up. Don't crank up the disturbed and hate breed. You're just going to calmly do a single. I don't even rest a minute between sets. My rest between sets is me just loading the bar. So it's like, okay, and I have pounds because I have the cheapest bumper plates that they make. Okay, so I do the bar at 95, 135. Then sometimes I'll do 165 in between. It depends on how I feel. And then I go to 185, and then 205, and then 225, and then 245, and then 265, and then 285. And you know what? 285 felt heavy. It wasn't a grindy rep. It wasn't slow, but it just felt heavy, and I'm done for the day. But that's it. If I go to 305, I know it'll be a slow, grindy rep. I don't want a slow, grindy rep. But then on another day, I feel great. I'm like, man, I feel so fresh today. I do the bar for 10, 95 for 5, 135 for 3, 185 for 2, and then it's just 205 for a single, 225 for a single, 245 for a single, 265 for a single, 285 for a single, 305 for a single. It felt great. I can go to 325, no problem. 325 for a single, it feels smooth. But I know that my max is 335 front squat. So I'm like, I don't want to go to 335 because 325 felt heavy enough that I know that 335 will be grindy. Will I make it? Sure. But it'll be a grindy rep. And I'll probably have to rest longer. I won't just throw, 10 pounds on the bar and do it. I'll probably need to rest 2 or 3 minutes before I do it. So I'm done. Move on to the next thing. Occasionally, I will go to 335. Occasionally. And I have gone to 345. Now, I consider 335 my training max because that's something I have consistently been able to hit. I hit 345 once. So I don't call that my training max. That's like you using a competition lift. Oh, I hit it once, and I'm going to base my percentages off of that. Don't do that to yourself. I have consistently been able to make 335. Okay, that's my training max. That's how you're going to approach this. You are going to just feel it out. And the moment you hit something that's heavy for a single, not grindy, that's your top heavy for the day. And then you just repeat this every day. And it really is singles. Like, there's not a lot of volume. So, like, you should not be getting terribly sore. You shouldn't be terribly exhausted. You shouldn't be incredibly fatigued. It's like bar, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. Maybe you make a jump to 150 and you're like, I'm cool. Because I know that if I go to 160, it'll be slow and grindy. Relax. It doesn't have to be anything more than just you coming in and frequently training the movement. The goal isn't to max out every day. The goal is to frequently squat Work up to a heavy single frequently, and that way your body gets used to doing heavy singles. And no, you're not going to do a secondary squat program on top of this. You're not going to run this alongside Smolov. You're not going to run this alongside, I don't know, Mad Cow or Texas Method. This is the squat program. It's very, very minimal volume, but very high frequency. And that's how it's done. Like, that's why it is sustainable. If you start getting amped up, doing a shit ton of pre-workout, I don't know, snorting lines of coke, I don't know your life, that's going to burn you out. And if you're trying to hit your max every day consistently, that's going to burn you out too. 80% is enough. If you get a single at 80% and it feels kind of crappy, don't even bother going up. It's good enough. Call it a day. Like, be intelligent about this. Auto-regulate. If I hit 80% and it felt shitty and I feel shitty that day, it's like 80% is good enough for today. I still did squat, didn't I? And technically 80%, I mean, that's a pretty heavy weight there. So as far as I'm concerned, if you just work up to one single at 80% on a day where you feel like shit, this is your bad day. Your bad day is hitting 80% for a single. There's nothing wrong with that. On a good day, go ahead and take it up. But you see, this is how simple it can be. And so can you squat every day? Absolutely. Can you squat like an asshole every day? No. Can you do 20 rep maxes every day? No. Can you hit your max every day? No. Can you do high volume every day? No. This is minimal volume. The whole point is high frequency. It's not high volume. It's not high intensity. It is literally just high frequency. Chill the fuck out. It is very sustainable if you chill out. If you try to max out every time or you do AMRAPs, it's not going to be sustainable.